Good morning, Mogul, my very important people. My name is Shaw Eaglin. I am the host of Mogul On The Move, where you get all the very important information for the Houston area, state of Texas, nationwide. We have various guests, and today our co-host is a very special individual in my life. She's like family. We've been friends for over 30 plus years.
That's right.
We have a novel
Yes.
of interesting stories.
Stories and adventures.
Yes, adventures is the word.
Yes.
Journey that we could share. We should probably create a script for that.
I know that would be
But
fun.
she is Mrs. LaShanna Moore.
Yes.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
This
Thank
is
you for having me a part
so
of.
crazy.
I know, right? Thank you for having me a part of your show. Congratulations, being Mogul on the Move, and for having this platform, for everything that I have watched you accomplish so far.
And that vice versa. We both have been there from the beginning. Started from the bottom.
Absolutely right.
Now we're here.
Oh my God. You'll have to
Shout
tell
out
them
to
about
Drake.
our original story before the end of the segment.
It's funny
Your-
because we used to film at the
Right,
mall.
your earliest Mogul on the Move experience. And that's dating us because you know how far back.
So in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
When you had to hold the camcorder on your
had the
shoulder.
huge, oh God, it must have weighed like what, 30 pounds?
Yes.
And we would go
man.
to Greenspoint Mall.
Yes.
Back then, it's funny because back then Greenspoint was one of the largest malls.
It was.
So weird now.
Robust business.
And Northline was the mall that we used to talk about.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
Greenspoint was it. That was the place to be to hang out.
God,
And we
those
would
were the
go
days.
around and we would videotape each other and pretend that we were doing the news.
Right.
Oh my God.
And we
guys.
never got kicked out.
We didn't, right?
But we would tell the people in the retailers that we were we were the nieces of Melanie Lawson, and at the time Melanie Lawson and Gina Gaston. We are so sorry, but we looked up to you all.
Yes,
that was Mogul on the Move in training.
Wow,
so many years ago.
And our newly film creator, but we're going to get into that during the second segment, right? Everything has come full circle, and we've always been, even as children, individuals, because as a child you're not a woman, individuals who believe in supporting women, supporting each other, empowering each other, supporting each other. So it's amazing all that we've gone through to get to this point and to see certain things come to fruition.
Exactly.
So it's a very special,
truly amazing.
special segment for today's Mogul on the Move. So getting into that, let's delve into what you actually do. She is our well woman, and she covers everything to do with health and wellness. So share with the moguls, with the viewers, what that means. What does that look like?
Absolutely. So the overarching theme for what I do, LaShanna Moore Wellness, which is a practice specifically for women with an emphasis on Black women. And our motto is eat well, think well, and live well. So everything that we do in life is geared toward the way we eat, because there's more than one way to eat. Like we eat information, not just food, but we eat various things in life. How are we processing and digesting that?
How are you starting off your day? How important is starting off your day?
Absolutely. It's a big part. You know, it's not about, as old people say, hauling off and just working out or really trying to find the perfect meal, but it's every aspect of wellness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And so that's my area, you know, helping women get back into the driver's seat of their life.
Yes.
In all of those areas, right.
Yes.
And then helping us reclaim our health in those areas that we're challenged in the most. So I deal with gut health, hormone health, reproductive health, wellness lifestyle, and overall well-being. Those are my areas.
So are any personal stories that you share which pretty much prompted you to start various areas of your wellness company that you would want to share with the viewers?
Absolutely. Everything has been personal.
Interesting.
That's not always fun.
Now that's true. That
you don't always want to, right? You don't want to always be the poster child for things. There's a grace and a blessing when you see how it's inspiring other people, but everything started from a personal experience. So when I first started, I was into fitness. You know, I
Yep.
became a
Training.
certified personal trainer through having an Achilles tendon rupture. From there, I went back and got certification in nutrition because that was a large part of my recovery, dealing with the atrophy.
People, moguls, you cannot be eating pig feet daily.
Oh, we cannot do the pig feet
and wondering why
anymore.
you're still feeling bad. Just because you're working out doesn't mean you can go eat. Now,
You cannot
I
work a
truly
bad
believe,
diet.
and every trainer has different opinions and different
Mhm.
styles. I love the trainers that say you can cheat here and there, okay? Because I'm gonna treat. I'm gonna eat that piece
You're
of
gonna
pie.
treat.
I'm gonna treat myself and eat that piece of pie.
It's about
here and there.
lifestyle.
But the overall consistency of what are you ingesting, like you said, what are you putting into your body? So how important was that as a part of your process with recovery? What did you learn?
You know what? Understanding, and I had to get to this point because I didn't start there. Understanding that it's a lifestyle. Like it's really about wellness because life is going to happen. Life-defining moments are going to happen. I went through fibroids. I went through skin breakouts and environmental reactions, and all these things got me into from the wellness to the holistic. You know, then going into endocannabinoid study. It's learning how to tune out all of the noise that you hear with marketing and recognize that I've got to figure out how to live well because stuff happens.
So what do you provide as part of your company as it pertains to dietary and meal plans in regards to, because she even breaks it down, you guys, to where she informs you of what to use for certain ailments.
Absolutely.
So what do you provide to the moguls, the viewers that can go to your site if you want to share the site now too?
Absolutely. So you can go to my website. It's LaShanna Leonard Moore. It's my name, LaShannaLeonardMoore.com. It's broken off into segments of services. What is it that you need? How can I help you in the areas that I specialize in? You were talking about dietary and nutrition needs. It's really customized because the interesting phenomenon is that we're both Black women, but we both have different needs, and our biology is different.
Yep, we're individuals, guys. So.
Right, so it has to be customized. There's some general things that you can follow that we can all follow, but
and that's important because sometimes, say I have an associate, and so I'm just going to give a story. We're at work. I'm just making up hypothetical.
Yeah.
And Sally Sue tells me I should eat these things, but I haven't researched myself.
Right. This is what's
and
working
I'm going
for me,
through
girl.
something totally different. This is what's, like you said, this is what's working for me. That might not be what will work for you and your body and other issues that you have.
Right.
So being an, I guess, individual planning is very important.
Individualized planning is important because it's not just about what's on the surface. You know, there may be some underlying issues or some pre-existing issues or unknown issues. So we get into imaging and lab work, working with, physicians that building that bridge between the medical world and the holistic world. We've got to have a healthy marriage of both of them.
And let's explain to viewers that aren't quite sure, because there are a lot of individuals out there that still don't understand quite what is holistic. So explain to that the variation between that and traditional medical treatment.
Absolutely. So there are 7 principles that undergird natural medicine, functional medicine, but the overarching idea is to treat non-prescriptively, to try to help people reach a state of homeostasis, which means getting our full body back into a rhythm and a flow of self-treatment, of functioning together as a whole being, and treating the core issue.
How important is food in regards to that?
Food is a major part of it. Our body is a big recycling ecosystem. It's a naturally built machine that really is able to take care of itself,
if you're fueling it properly.
If we're fueling it properly. And when we don't, our body will actually let us know. Sending the messages, but you know how it is. We got our cape on, we're doing what we're doing, we're moguling, and we're ignoring we're ignoring a lot of those signs. And here's another thing that I believe we kind of downplay is that for many of us growing up, pain was normalized.
Now that's true. That is
Yeah.
very true. But for some
You
reason, I
push
don't know
through.
what it is. I've never been a person that likes to take pills.
Right.
I just have
Yeah.
never. Maybe
It's in
I
our
equated to
DNA.
maybe the taste when I was younger. And then my mom that passed away, she would put it inside of juice, like in the
Yeah.
in a
The little juice
have
pockets.
me to take it. Well, she would put it on a teaspoon, but put a little juice and let it
Okay.
kind of melt.
Okay. Yeah.
But I never
So you can
ever to
tolerate it,
this
yeah.
day, if I have a headache, I don't take pills. If I have, cramps, I just never have. I don't know what it is about that. My body just didn't. I just didn't care for
Well,
it.
it was a frightening experience, like as a child, to be introduced to medicine.
Especially those
Much
large
of it
pills.
did not taste good.
No, yes.
You know, some of it had an
Mm.
aroma we didn't like. And then even deeper than that, it's embedded in our DNA because we were not privy to real honest treatment.
That's true.
So it's very interesting with us. Part of it is our childhood experience, and then another part of it is really like ancestral DNA, where we have automatically an inclination against, there is a resistance or a delay with medicine, pills, and taking it. Or you're on the other end of the spectrum where it's, done in excess.
So that's what I was going to say. So the flip side of that, how would you, if I'm a woman that comes to you, and I mean I'm taking a pill for everything possible, how would you help me manage that lifestyle and kind of transition me into a little more holistic approach? Not, maybe not 100%
right
holistic, but adding that to my, routine.
Yeah. That's a good question. There's a lot of mental rebuilding, mental support, and perception that has to be rebuilt. So again, the beauty of holistic is treating the whole you. You get an opportunity to sit and talk with someone who's going to inquire about the total you. And it's a trust relationship.
And who cares? Who
and
actually cares? You're not just a number. Or
name
sometimes
on the
we can
roster.
be treated like cattle, just,
That's right.
Put them on through 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
That's right.
Put them on through.
I mean, and to their respect, they're only allotted at the max 15 minutes per patient. But in this field, you have an opportunity to really I like to use the phrase workshop your life, and get to a point to where we're able to dig into your life, to really peel back some of the issues, because one thing honestly triggers another.
So any I know you said one of them was the breakout, and I know that was because you changed location. You relocated to the West Coast.
Yeah, I had environmental reaction.
And what was that experience like, and how did that kind of also mold that being part of your business? I know you had started researching quite a bit.
Right. That's what actually got me into the wellness component and working with herbology and plants and botany, because I had an allergic reaction to the water. The calcium and the magnesium, it broke my body out. I looked like I was burned from the neck down. It was crazy.
It was crazy.
Yeah. So that, again, talking about personal experience, that's what got me into that study. And listen, it's a lot of times, contrary to popular belief, it's trial and error.
Because sometimes, and I'm not going to just say sometimes, I'm hearing it more than not from people that are close to me, and just me hearing stories from others. Women are going into the doctor's office, and the doctors are running numerous tests and still cannot find out. And that is the most frustrating, not knowing what's causing these, various, I guess, experiences that you're having, whether it be breaking out pains or,
that could be a matter of testing, the testing type, and then also, again, holistic, going into the core of what's really going on.
So you should be open to holistic medicine, because you're going to have, in my opinion, a more intimate, especially the meal planning, to me, so very important. And we'll delve into that a little bit, but when we come back, you guys, we're going to talk about the Black Bodice. I don't know if you guys can see our shirts. Here we go.
Right.
And the film that was created to
Yes.
empower women, especially women of color,
Absolutely.
as it pertains to advocating for yourself,
Right.
And your body.
Yep.
All right, we'll be right back.
Being okay is costing us our lives. Being okay is costing us our sanity. Being okay is draining our pockets. Being okay is filling us up with medicine. Being okay is causing us to stay silent and find ways to cope.
The drug industry isn't going to educate you. The hospital is not going to educate you.
People want to keep us in the dark. We can't sit here and pretend like trickle-down racism isn't a thing.
I couldn't believe it. I just kept thinking about, I thought I did everything right to save him. And I trusted the process. I trusted the doctors. And I just felt like how did this happen? I was in denial.
Now we're talking about self-empowerment. We're talking about being in the driver's seat of our life and our health and reclaiming what is ours, which is our body and our health.
I hate that this is our story. We have to stop being silent.
All right, welcome back, moguls. We are going to delve into, it's just amazing me even saying this coming out of my mouth. Our filmmaker and creator of Black Bodice. So explain to the viewers exactly and share with them where they well, I know it's going to be released here soon.
Yeah.
I was able to go to the to attend the premiere.
Yes.
There was not a dry eye in the house.
Oh my.
Certain parts of the film, it was an emotional roller coaster. But explain to the viewers exactly what inspired and what Black Bodice stands for.
Absolutely. So you all just got an opportunity to see the trailer of the film, which is a sneak peek that just shares a little bit of the various stories that are covered in Black Bodice. It's a documentary, and it's dedicated to Black women, our health, our stories, our challenges, but not just leaving us there, talking about our triumphs and where we are now and where we're going tomorrow.
Yes, and where we've come from, such a rich history.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I will say this. I don't think that was expected. So I'm glad that you went back to slavery days and shared some of the experiences with women that were treated like, where they were experiments.
Yeah, we were subjects.
Back then and where we are today. So I really appreciate it, and kudos to you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Because those were stories that some of us weren't aware of. We've heard, certain ones, but there were some that we didn't know. So advocacy, being an advocate for yourself, which is so important for women of color as it pertains to dealing with physicians going to hospitals, right? The emergency rooms. What inspired the film? And I know your mom was the big inspiration, but what inspired you to create this film?
Personal experiences and a need to elevate our voices. You know, silence, stigma, and shame have been with us from the beginning of time.
Yes.
And we see it through these female slaves that are highlighted, you know, and introduced in the film, who were subjects and were experimented on with no anesthesia.
My God.
Anarcha experienced up to 30 surgeries. And it starts from the beginning of time. So from our childhood, with different hesitances that we have, to experience, there's a different kind of relationship that we have with medicine and treatment.
One that you touched on, particularly with your mom.
Yeah.
Silence, and how, you know, that generation was raised, and you know, they taught us, you didn't really talk about certain things. They didn't share
not outside of
certain
the home.
ailments, and really in the home. Sometimes you don't even know what your parent had dealt with as your mother or grandmother dealt with, and so now you're
women in your family.
You're dealing with a situation that you didn't even realize. Well, if I would have been told, maybe I would. It could have been preventive, or you know. So what can you explain some of that? That was.
So I want to explain too. You were asking about Black Bodice. So Bodice means Black Body Goddess. Black Body Goddess, Black Bodice.
That's awesome.
And dedicated to all of us, inspired by my mother, who was my first Black Bodice, and who I am blessed that we had conversation. Like we talked about a lot of things, but outside of my mother, extending in the women in my family, you didn't know anything. We didn't talk. The generation did not talk. So the silence is there. And then
everything
the shame
was so taboo,
comes.
you know.
Yeah, everything was
when it
so
comes to your body
taboo.
and ailments and the medical, I guess, aspect of it.
Yeah.
It's so taboo.
Right.
Yeah.
So we find ourselves encountering shame because we receive a diagnosis or something is off with our bodies, you know, and then the stigma is there, and so we just perpetuate that cycle. And the big message of the film is the importance of self-advocacy, raising your voice, being your first doctor, because you know when something is not right with your body. We may not have white coats, we may not be able to articulate it, but you know when something is not right.
There was a story that stuck out, and everybody in the room was touched emotionally. There was a young lady,
Taisha Brown,
who was
shout out to
kind of
Taisha.
share her story, with the viewers.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna give you just a snippet
because you have to go and watch the film.
It. Yeah,
and the date is released
February the 3rd, and it'll be on several live stream platforms. So if you're able to follow us, we're Black Bodice Film on Facebook, Instagram, and the website. But Taisha, who shared so vulnerably with us her story, it was really multi-leveled, you know, within her narration. The ultimate story about a delivery gone wrong, completely wrong.
So wrong.
But within
could have been prevented.
That really could have been prevented, like so many women. But within that journey, also discovering that she had fibroids. And at that time, she had no knowledge or education of what fibroids were. She never knew she had them. So there was like this duality of issues that she's dealing with, you know, while trying to carry a very painful pregnancy.
And what I took from it, that was so strong with her story. It just resonated that, you know, even with advocating for yourself and telling these physicians, no, but something's still not right. I know you gave me this prescription, but it hadn't really changed much. And then juggling between one physician saying one thing, the other physician not agreeing. Even being an advocate, sometimes you may have to get a third physician because she was stayed advocating for herself and still was not listened to. And I guess that goes to what we know statistically, that minority women of color, various, you know, minorities are treated somewhat differently. We're supposed to, I guess, be able to handle pain.
Handle the pain management, the way that we're built, our anatomy.
And that goes back to the slavery days.
It does. That's where it begins.
Experimented on us without anesthesia. And so I don't know if that's the underbelly, the undertone, and even today.
I think it's a major part with some of like physician friends that I've had conversation with, even just the academic style and the teaching when they get to certain curriculums are different. They're approached different in terms of how things are taught.
Interesting.
It goes very, very deep with us. So the conversation is necessary. And you were talking about getting a third doctor if necessary. That is a reality. You've got to find the right team that works for you, that listens to you, where you feel like you're being treated and taken care of by any means necessary, because this is your body.
And your life depends.
That's right. Many times. How many stories can we account or have we read in headlines?
And I'm hearing more so now of women that, like we talked about, are just so frustrated just with the medical industry because they're dealing with something and have no idea still. We're on year 2.
Right.
And no one can find out or figure out what the issue is. And that's why I feel like holistic approach, especially to me, I don't know why, just about what you digest, what you put into your body is so important. So major. What was it like starting and delving into being a film creator? You know, I know that was, and you have background in performance arts, but how was that delving into this industry, the film industry?
It was both exhilarating and vulnerable. It was a myriad of experiences. It was partially therapeutic, but then it was also very purging and nostalgic because you're going through grief. And you know what I now know and understand grief to be is that you don't leave grief behind. It's not like getting over a cold and okay, I'm better now. You learn how to move forward with it. So just keeping that at the forefront of my mind, and having a supportive team. Naya Dillard, who's the director of this film, through her studio, Lion's Heart Studio, big up to them. Having the right crew, family support, my tribe. I didn't really share a lot through the process, but when I finally shared with them the baby that I was birthing, they embraced me and supported me all the way around. And just being willing to be a student of something. You know, I've been a professional in an industry for 10 plus years. And now I'm back in the student desk to learn something new. But I love it. I love cinematic art. I love film.
And it turned out beautiful. It was very, very.
Thank you.
It was surprised. Certain parts I was surprised. Oh, okay, she put that in there.
Yeah.
It was very emotional, but most of all, very informative. Informative, and
Thank you.
Advocacy seemed to be the major message.
That's the takeaway
that came from it. So I want to talk a little bit about back with your company and other services, and talking a bit about fibroids, because in the film, you guys will see fibroids was one of the huge issues that one of the individuals was dealing with. And it was amazing to me that the doctors did not just give her a simple ultrasound. It just was mind-boggling to me. So
small steps and details that were missed.
So if someone comes to you regarding fibroids, what services, just so the viewers have an idea of what type of services that you actually provide. We're just going to use, there's a gambit of issues that you can help them with, but I know fibroids is one
huge.
We deal with a large scale.
Absolutely.
Myself as well. I just found out the end of last year. But what?
Fibroids is huge. Fibroids and PCOS are two huge ones. So we start with a complete, full assessment. It's a complete assessment, and it's not individualized. You're going to be working with myself along with your physician, because again, it's about bridging these two worlds together. There's
teamwork is so important.
You know, and there's lab and imaging that's done. There are follow-ups that are required. There are protocols that are administered to each woman based on the status of her fibroids, as well as any pre-existing conditions. Because the thing about approaching fibroids is that it's not just one isolated situation. It's a chain of issues, and especially with Black women, with our 3 estrogens, estrogen 1, 2, and 3, that we deal with. The drop-off of progesterone. So there's heavy periods, non-existent periods, inconsistent periods, cramping, adult acne, hormone changes, mood swings out the wazoo, so many things that we deal with. And when you come to a holistic practice, really the woman is able to
Yes.
and
Yes.
feel supported.
Release. Yes.
Yeah, we have a
yes.
program now, Med Her Melanin, that I'd like to share real quick.
Oh yes, definitely. Med Her Melanin.
Med
you
Her
guys.
Melanin
Okay.
for women of color who are dealing with fibroids. 3 focuses, and I've been working on myself as well: fibroid elimination, reduction, and or remission. And walking women through this 3-month journey on what that looks like, empowering you to be able to take control of that while we work with your body and your physician.
And having a holistic approach, I know,
yeah,
on how to deal, and I know in some circumstances being even able to shrink the
it's
fibroids
possible.
by diet, by
so many different protocols.
I guess diminishing stress, the various things that can.
Stress is a huge factor that we just kind of brush off of the shoulder. But I'd like to also share as an encouragement that healing is not overnight. It takes months and years. So patience and grace is a major
patience
part
and grace with yourself.
of this process. Yeah,
being patient and graceful with
it's
yourself.
not a marketing, magic pill, healing in a box. It doesn't happen like that. I'm sorry. It doesn't happen like that.
So you have to have, and we are the hardest on ourselves, right?
Yes, we do.
It just is what it is. We want to be super women.
Yeah.
Right? And so I want to say thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Our time is up, but I want you to share one more time all your handles so you guys are able to reach her if you are in need. And there's other ailments that she deals with, but if you want to share.
Absolutely. So you can find me. Do go to my website, LaShannaLeonardMoore.com. My Instagram handle is the same. Follow me there. Loads of information. And then definitely follow the documentary, Black Bodice Film.com is the website. And then also on Facebook and Instagram, Black Bodice Film. Very easy to find us. We kept it consistent.
All right, until next time, moguls, I want you to stay on the move and always be kind to others. All right, we'll see you next Monday.
Bye-bye. Thank you.